My name's Ben Saunders. I'm a polar explorer. I skied solo to the North Pole in 2004. One of three in history to ski solo to the North Pole. No one's done it since. I was 26 at the time, so the youngest to do so by more than 10 years. And you can try and explain to people and say, well, it was minus 48, it was cold, it was, the sledge was 180 kilos, it was heavy, but no one really has any reference points. So photography, in my experience, has been the best way of showing people what it's actually like. The lighter the sledge is, the easier things are for me, the higher the chance of success. So everything from cutting the labels out of my clothes, I've cut the handle off my toothbrush, I cut the metal tabs off of zips and tie bits of string through them straight. So I get pretty obsessive about it. There's a wonderful quote, one of Shackleton's team members 100 years ago, a guy called Thomas Audley. He said, the explorers of 2012, if there's anything left to explore, will no doubt carry pocket wireless telephones fitted with wireless telescopes. Now, I haven't got a telescope, obviously, but I have a satellite phone and I've got a digital camera. This camera has GPS built in, so I can use that perhaps as a backup GPS. So every little bit of equipment is not only vital, but often serves a secondary purpose as well. But I try and capture the whole thing from the sort of majesty of the scenery and the ice-scapes to little sort of details, and people are often fascinated by the sort of day-to-day routine stuff. How do I cook my food? How do I get drinking water? As well as the sort of scenery and the ice-scapes, that kind of thing. A lot of expeditions I've followed, they tend to start photographing when they get there. Here we are at base camp, or here we are in Antarctica. And the story of the training and the preparation, the build-up is just as fascinating as I think, as the expedition itself. I've taken some pictures of crossing very thin ice that's breaking up, and again thinking I've got to try and tell this story somehow. And I can only do that by having a compact camera and just quickly take a photograph of what's happening. It's very easy to get caught up in sort of close-up action shots and little detail and minutiae, and it's important to remember to be able to sort of step back and try and get some perspective, and just to try and illustrate the scale of the environment, the scale of the journey, and the scale of the challenge. Nowadays I'm able to blog, to send images and text back on a daily basis. I can take the memory card out of the camera, plug that into a little palm-top computer, plug that into the phone, and I can send images back within a few minutes of having taken them. It's always easier to take photographs when you're in a good mood and the weather's nice and the sun's shining, but actually, again, some of the images I'm happiest with, proudest of now, were when things were really miserable. And I've got a few self-portraits when I'm really down in the dumps and things are going really badly wrong. But those, to me, now are as important as the sort of beautiful scenic shots. I've got two really big expeditions next year. The first is next spring. I'm heading back to the North Pole, another solo expedition, but from the Canadian side this time. And then the second big project is in Antarctica at the end of next year. I'm heading there with a three-man team, and the plan very simply is to make a return journey on foot. The journey that Captain Scott died trying to achieve 100 years ago, and it remains unfinished, so it's a journey with a real historical significance.